Welcome to the Collective podcast. My name is Claire, and here at the Collective podcast, you can tune into my sleep stories and meditations, as well as mindful moment reflections, where I share my ideas and thoughts on subjects such as mindfulness, gratitude, authenticity, and living more slowly. Your journey to a more calmer, present, and intentional state of being starts right now. Welcome back to Lesson 3 in the Everyday Miracles 12-week audio course. Today we'll be talking about the art of living and how to turn daily living into an act of grace. There is also a meditation that goes along with today's lesson called Nature Therapy. You will find the link to this meditation in the show notes. In a life that is full of options, it is easy to become overwhelmed. After all, we live in a culture where we supposedly get our comfort from accumulating an abundance of stuff, whether that stuff be physical things, experiences, or career successes. In our busy and harried world, with overbooked schedules and not enough time in the day, it can sometimes feel that life is just passing us by. If you are like myself, and so many people I know, then chances are that all too often you probably feel like more of an observer in life, as opposed to being an active participant. Today's resource is focused on the art of living well. I will share my thoughts on what intentional slow living can do for our souls, and how choosing to seek out the extraordinary within those everyday, ordinary moments can become a life-transforming practice. Modern-day theory says that we should all strive and work hard in order to achieve and to become. For many of us, this mainstream thinking then turns daily life into a constant act of striving to become, where hours are wasted and frivoled away as we spend big portions of our days overachieving, over-impressing, over-analysing, over-complicating, overdoing, and so forth. Modern-day culture is all too often responsible for us losing our own innate ability to just be, and as a result, we disconnect from the art of living well. We only have to look at the continual uprise of anxiety, depression, overwhelm, and stress to realize that modern day living is geared more towards striving rather than thriving. We complicate living so much. We obsess about what's good, bad, unfair, what's healthy, right, and wrong. We fill our heads with a constant thought stream of complexities. We feel like we must control and understand life in order to live it right. However, thousands of years ago, cavemen never overanalyzed life. They just simply lived. And the same goes for your dog, an elephant, a lion. All they know is the importance of the here and the now. Your cat, it has no intention of being a better cat than the one that's next door. It's just focused on enjoying being a cat. It enjoys eating, playing, getting a pat, warming itself up in front of the fire, and so on. Here at the Om Collective podcast, I talk a lot about all things spiritual, and truthfully, there is nothing more spiritual than the process of living daily life. Whether you are a religious person or not, daily life should become a living prayer. It should be a work of art, and at the very least, it should be your very own masterpiece. Every day we are connected to things outside ourselves, which also happens to be a very profound thing. We are changed by how we choose to live our daily lives. This not only changes and affects the events of our own life, but we also hold the power to positively impact others and things outside of ourselves. By choosing to live each day with intention, mindfulness, and an appreciation for the hours in our day, we will in turn find meaning, purpose, and happiness within our own life. How we choose to go about our everyday routines and choices is our most profound engagement with the world around us. Life is about a series of relationships. It links us to other people and other forms of life. This connection has become invisible to many of us because we live in such a mindless way, not consciously aware of life and being. Unfortunately, for many of us, we have grown to take the very act of living for granted. Actively choose to rediscover the links and the connections of the natural world, and then watch your everyday and ordinary moments become moments of beauty and grace. And when you take the time to ponder those small things, you quickly realize just how miraculous all of life is. You will soon find contentment in the simple things, and you will become grateful for every breath that you take thereafter. For you will realize that it is in fact life itself that is the true gift to us all. So many of our problems, they arise from the collapse of not living mindfully and within the present moment. We mindlessly go about our everyday routines, hoping to get them over and done with quickly. We spend moments agonizing over past decisions and mistakes, as well as moments future tripping and worrying about how things will turn out in the future. We are also so rushed. We are so rushed in life that a sense of panic about time is part of what has made us disconnected from the very act of living. The present moment has become inaccessible to many of us. But if we choose to really attend to what we are currently doing, it's then that we can reclaim the present moment. Whether you're chopping onions, ironing clothes, or on your morning commute to work, learn to be in the moment. So when you're ironing, just iron. No matter how small or mundane the task is, choose to absorb yourself in the act of doing, and you will find that the world just slips away. And it's in this space that inner stillness will rise within to meet you for the occasion. The art of living well, it starts when we can find stillness within. For stillness enables us to be able to see ourselves and the world around us more clearly. Our senses become heightened, and life itself becomes the miracle. And everything that you have and that you are, suddenly all becomes enough. It is in these little moments, these decadent and opulent moments of quietness and stillness within, that keeps our enthusiasm and joy alive. You don't need adventurous holidays, new beginnings, and expensive luxuries to feel uplifted, inspired, and nurtured. It is about turning the everyday things and events that are easily accessible to you into a sacred ritual and practice. The journey to stillness begins when you reconnect with your breath, allowing the breath to wash away all the external noise from both your ego and the outside world. You then drop your awareness wholeheartedly into whatever you are doing in that moment, allowing your senses to be heightened as you keep your mind on your breath, you keep your mind on the present moment and on what you are doing. And after a few mindful breaths, take the time to invite that space of stillness to rise within. And it's this very space where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. So as you go about your day, do your very best to stay in this state of intention and mindfulness. And what you will discover is that your everyday moments will become moments of being instead of doing. You will experience life with all of your senses while holding a deep sense of inner peace and stillness within. It is within this space of being that you realize that this is where life begins and that this is how life is meant to be experienced. On the journey of discovering the importance of stillness within, one can go from being soulfully numb to becoming spiritually alive. It has the power to melt the consciousness into a whole new existence. It will inspire and uplift, giving one the ability to find beauty in their current life, exactly how it stands in the here and now. Taking the time to re-examine your own life and prioritize finding stillness within will reignite your passion for life. You will clear out the clutter and replace it with things that have more meaning, purpose, and substance. And as a result, bringing you more inner peace and contentment to each day, no matter what your income location, or situation may be. The truth is that every moment of the day is a sacred occasion, and we should take every minute much more seriously. Our natural instinct is to find meaning and purpose within our own life. But we are giving it up by finding meaning in things that are outside ourselves. All too often, we seek meaning in the opinion of others. We seek meaning by trying to label and understand everything. We seek meaning by overcomplicating the simplest of things, even life itself. Living in the present moment, what a rich opportunity. And the best part, it's available to us all. We can all get back to the basics of living in the moment, no matter what your circumstance may be. And when you live like this, so many good things will be born from that. Your health, your happiness, and so forth. There is something in the very nature of living with mindfulness that will take care of your overall happiness and contentment. Maybe it's because we get back to the core and the simplicity of our human spirit, and we fall back into the natural rhythm of life. From today forward, start living a little more intentionally by actively choosing to turn your daily chores and your everyday life into a transcended moment. Choose to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. Take some time to notice the things that you would normally overlook. Take time to smell the roses, breathe in the fresh air, or maybe marvel at those little forms of life growing in the cracks of concrete and so forth. Whatever you are doing, take a moment to really feel what it is that you're doing. The smell, the colour, the texture. Grace is at the core of stillness and intentional living. So stop and make yourself aware of what this moment is. For life is rhythmic, it is always moving, and if you allow yourself to fall into its natural beat, you will discover a world that's rich in endless beauty and grace. At the end of the day, we make meaning in our own life. It's up to us to rethink our relationship to the natural world and our perception to it. So thank you for joining me today. I really hope that you were able to take away something small from today's lesson. And I will be back next week for lesson 4, where we will go through and talk about how to find your life purpose. So until next week, stay present, mindful, and intentional. Namaste.